Excellent.
Okay, so what were you saying?
So good.
So this time around, I was running a three members party rather. Based on our conversation that we had the other night, because I normally have been trying my luck at just running 2 party members, but this time I'm using 3 just to see how it plays out. And I'm also doing a few other pointers that you recommended to me. And this is like my first time trying all these things.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I don't know, Dead Pulse, on your opinion, but I think starting with 3 just makes the early game a lot safer. With the fighter, the 2-man is definitely more doable. But with in general, I think the 3-person is kind of where you want to start with.
Yeah, and honestly, I have signed on to, if you're going to run 3-person, you run 4-person, and your 4th person is the thief, just so that you can have a run chance, just so you still have the option to go to ice and have a good chance to run away from everything.
I run actually the 4-person with 2 black mages, just anticipating basically killing both of them off once I go into the inner sea. Climinteedus and I had like a hour-long text discussion, I don't know, 2 nights ago? Or maybe 2 nights ago. Yesterday just doesn't exist. And we were kind of discussing, and he was kind of going from 2, so I suggested maybe 3, but I think I would still generally recommend 4. I also would definitely recommend a black belt, but I think the fighter comp is doable as well. It's just very item dependent. Oh, good. Fighter swords on the black mage. Oh, plus 20 vitality is good on the fighter, though, but it's not like... It doesn't really change the fighter. It just makes it even better at what it already does.
I honestly forgot all about that blessing, so I don't expect to see any swords on my black mages.
No, I mean, that blessing doesn't matter. Okay, sorry. I slowed things down a little bit so that way we could see the blurses a little bit better. But
you may want to speed it up for a minute after I choose my party, because my cat kind of was being a disturbance.
Okay, I think we're good. Oh no, it's fine. It's at 2 times speed. I'll slow it down to 1.5 once we get started. We'll see if my cat visits the stream. Hey, Shun Bobby, thanks for hanging out. I think this one, while Rich was a little bit, probably had a few tips. I think this one will be closer to stuff that is helpful for you. His times are quite similar to yours, although I don't know. At this point, you seem to sped up in the last week or so, but. Okay, so life is red mage learnable there. That's really good level 1 black magic. With a black belt, nah, I think it's fine. I was going to say I might consider rerolling, but I don't think so. I think I would just go with this, because you're going to promote with this class anyway, so this is fine.
And I don't know why I didn't go back and get life. I think I was probably trying to save early game money.
Well, life is only red wizard learnable there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. I think the only thing there is just no need to check the weapon shop, but... oh, you don't have a timer.
I normally don't do that. I don't know why I did that time around.
Oh, your timer's at the bottom right, actually. That's okay. I just wanted to see. 40... Okay, so about
sorry about that. I'll be mindful about that next time I make a VOD.
Oh, it's all good. No, it's actually fine. So you're about 6 seconds out of Canaria, but that's pretty negligible. If I have good sweeper magic, I haven't been checking these chests, but I don't know. What have you been doing, Dead Pulse?
If I run anything other than black belt, I will check these chests, because if it's a mass meeting, and they didn't check, you've won.
Ooh, okay, this is a jet seed. Okay, so with the floater that early, Canal's a little unfortunate, but with the floater that early, yeah, you're looking at like hour 05 as your goal, with like few exceptions. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Shun Bobby saying I've rolled like 5 seeds and I've just been doing Canaria splits, and I'm a big fan of like just practicing like specific things. You need like when we're running randomizers, if I was coaching volleyball and I said you have to play if you only played the game, you would never improve. Well, you would improve, but you'd improve very slowly. So I think some dedicated practice on certain elements, if you're struggling in certain places, is a good idea.
Yeah, I did about a week of just rolling seeds to try to get out of Canaria and get to Garland as soon as possible.
Yeah. I think including potentially for pods, like just doing the inner C, which takes about somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes, or well, 5 and 20 minutes, I guess. There's quite a bit of variance, but like doing the inner C is a really good way to practice these, because I think the inner C is like super important. Pirate any percent, yeah, 2.5 minutes, that's good. I think Caleb's is like, yeah, he wants like 2 to 3. No, wait, 4 minutes. I can't remember. He said something for his pirates time.
I accept anything below 3.5 minutes for the pirates, and I try to get out of the inner seat by the 20-minute mark after clearing both marsh and ice.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. Yeah, money marks, of course. I'm more than willing to do these for anyone, really, but mostly new runners. I just don't have as much to offer, I think, to more experienced runners. So I would have killed the pirates first here. You had a sweeper, but that's relatively minor here. So here with the floater, we're ignoring ice marsh until we find ship at sage. Yes, that's right. You want to avoid ice and marsh here. We do have warp, which does make them like slightly more palatable, but we also have warp, which makes Ordeal's waterfall more palatable. So yeah, just no reason to. Oh yeah, money marks you 100% apply. I'm just saying like I offer it to literally anyone in the community, but it's especially targeted for new players. So far so good. I'd say you've maybe lost 10, 20, 30 seconds on just execution, maybe going. Doing provoke in just slightly the wrong order, but that's fairly minor. What is this encounter table? I don't know about you, Dead Pulse, but I've been trying to buy one save item at least in either Provoke or Canaria just to get through this river system a little bit more safely, but...
Yeah, if I can find tents, I will automatically stock up. If I only have cabins, I'll buy 3 of them. I think he did buy 3 in Canaria, though.
I like skipping the white magic there. Although actually, interestingly enough, Crescent Lake is the white magic that of course, Crescent Lake is the white magic that the red wizard actually can learn quite well. It's terrible at learning Melman magic, though. So checking level 6 white for like Cure 4 may have been okay, but not mandatory. Or Life 2. So this should be, yeah. The do it or else you'll forget about it. Okay, so let's pause right here. So what's going through your head at this point, Climinteedus?
I honestly cannot remember. That I recorded that last night. I was incredibly tired, so I don't really remember too much from yesterday.
Okay, well let's not remember what let's not remember. Let's talk about like what you're thinking right now. So with your current layout, what is your priorities? What are the various like options that are kind of in your head, and like what are you thinking about?
Well, normally I don't get I'm not used to like having the airship this early, so I'm just trying to like go through and like maybe get all the free accessible items. Like if I had access to like maybe slab and bottle, then I'd go ahead and check Gaia, and I'll just try to go ahead and like get any loose ends that I know I could like knock out real easily, just so I could see where I may want to go else, like where I should go to get more key items.
No, that's really reasonable. I think key item focus is good here. The one thing I would be thinking a little bit about is that I need like 4 levels just to feel a little bit more comfortable, and after that you kind of are going to want to find the shop item, right? Because if you think about the shop item is just out there somewhere, but you have no money right now, so you don't want to find it quite yet, but like buying the shop item soon is going to be a priority because it is guaranteed to be available to you. And then I think ordeals and mostly ordeals is where I would want to be going next. I don't know, Dead Pulse, what's on your mind here?
Yeah, my first thought is that I'm down 4 or 5 levels, that I need money. I would consider going to Volcano, actually, and then go to Ice.
I was thinking Earth Spikes, but yeah, I think same idea. We're both thinking that we want a few levels before we like really go check shops and clear incentives, because we're just like too broke and too weak.
Yeah, and especially to check out that level 3 and 4 magic and be able to cast those.
Yeah, gotcha. I mean, we don't need that much more. We're actually in pretty good dungeon diving shape already, even just with Fire 3 and Warp. Like, those are 2 really good spells. We don't need Fast and Temper yet, right? But we would kind of like a Lit 3 or something. or a nuke, obviously, or a fade, and then we want some money for the shop item. So I just wanted to do it because this is kind of an important decision point right now. Right now, the world is the
Yeah.
world's your oyster, right? You have everything available to you. So it's like, where do you go at this point? Because I mean, obviously you don't have Sky available, but I don't think you're going to Sky at level 5 anyways. Okay, so you decide the Earth check. I like this. I think Dead Pulse, your Volcano play is also totally reasonable, but I think this is also fine because I think I'm more used to black belt comps, so the better way to get money is actually to kill enemies rather than to open boxes. But for the fighter comp, I think Volcano is very tempting. Ooh, hello. So this is where it's very, very, very. I think you probably have lost the race. Maybe not quite that badly, but it's pretty bad. I don't know, Dead Pulse. What are you thinking here? I'd be very worried in open party scenario right now.
Yeah, the only way to really counter a black belt comp when you have a comp such as this is to quickly get your grind done and literally take no fights afterwards.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
No, I think. Go ahead.
And your grind needs to be to level 24, and then you need to open a sword ASAP and a ribbon, and then you can win.
But you can't open any more boxes than are necessary. As soon as you find the key item, you have to leave still.
Exactly. So you don't get to open extra boxes. You just open the boxes that you have to open that you find a sword, and then you can win.
I think here actually may have spent all my warp charges, so I lost a couple of seconds just trying to leave this area.
Yeah, that happens. This is why I once again just always take like a few levels around Crescent Lake just so I have a few more spell charges even before I dive like Earth, but this of course is fine. Yeah, I think I would go to Elfland here instead and buy magic, but because you have enough money to do so now. And you can check the shop item and you can buy a house or two, but this is obviously okay. Why are we checking the weapon shop?
I have no idea.
You know better than this.
Yeah, the only time I check a weapon shop is if I don't have a level 1 sweeper. I will definitely check Canaria in case I can kill Garland with it.
Yeah, for sure. That's totally viable. But I think nothing else. I do actually like checking armor shops in this flag set until you find gold bracelets or silver bracelets and pro rings, because I find that I end up buying them quite a bit for Topher safety.
Yeah.
Marsh dive is totally reasonable here.
I just like knocking out.
Yeah, no.
Especially if I have warp, then just like go ahead and get out of the way.
This is a good play. I like it. You're nearby. You don't need to check Elfland before warp or before Marsh because you have Fire 3 and Warp, which are like the two spells you care about the most here. So this is a good play, good proximity route. I like it in general. I legit have run earlier that was looking, yeah. Okay, defense +5. So the thing, Moneymarks, just quick piece of advice on swords is that if you have fast temper and a defense, and you can get the incentive power bonk, you can win with like a silver dagger +2. So just keep in mind that your other gear can really determine if you want a sword or not. You do need more levels though, because you need HP, so that way you can live a few turns. So far I think this is pretty good. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice actually. Yeah, just keep in mind if you didn't get the ship in Crescent Lake, you kind of don't want to go to Martian Ice Cave. Yep, I like Elfland now. Garbage. So far you're playing well. I don't know, Dead Pulse, do you have anything that you want to point out?
No, I haven't seen anything that speaks to me. Big errors.
Other than
I think
the
there's
weapon
a
shops.
pretty.
We're upset about the weapon shops. Buy those tents. Yeah. 20 is a good number with the early airship. 20 is totally fine. Without the early airship, I buy like 40 tents though, if they're cheap enough and I have infinite money. Cool. You want to make sure you buy that heal 3. So this is why I like to buy, wait, you picked wall over heal 3. That's...
No, don't do that.
No, that's justifiable because, once again, remember, the strategy in the seed, if you're open parties, is that you need to win without opening extra boxes, which means you might not have a ribbon, and that wall may be more important than heal 3. Heal 3 is just a big time save, but I think that's a reasonable decision. I don't think it's the one I would have made because I hate casting wall, but I think it's reasonable.
Same here, and I have only just recently started using it, so I was just honestly just playing around with it in this one, maybe.
Well, we haven't seen life yet, right?
It's level 4, or level 1 slot 4, so it's promotion locked.
Oh, okay. I would say that if life were not available, wall would be the better choice.
And we also didn't check level 6 magic, so we don't actually know what's there for white magic. Okay, Volcano next is fine, because you can kill carry. I don't mind the armory trek here. Like, I know what you mean, Dead Pulse, by, like, no additional chests, but this is kind of the same thing, actually, that I was discussing with Rich yesterday, which is that I don't like going to Volcano until I clear my mandatory places, because I want to make a conscious decision on if I clear armory based off my current, like, assuming I'm in go mode, I want to make a decision on if I open extra boxes or not. Versus if you go there early, you either skip them and skip them forever or don't skip them. And you don't know whether that's the right decision until you like clear ordeals, ice, sea, and sky, right?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's why I like to put it off, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so I don't mind you equipping the short sword, but you should never ever equip weapons again until you find your endgame sword.
Gotcha.
Because it's just good enough. Okay, so warp out. Yeah, that white mage is stacked, but that's okay.
I should have worked out, but I think I was going to check the second spike tile just to maybe find something better to grind on.
What are you checking spike tiles for? I think this comes down to like what's once again intention. Is this just like I'm taking levels because I'm here, and also this is a great, like pretty good spike tile for you to get a few levels off of.
Yeah, kind of.
But like, what's the idea? I guess.
I don't know. I just like wanted to like get a couple more levels just to ensure that I could like make it through carry. And like since I already have since one of my party members is dead, I don't mind spending extra time, especially if I could get like some wipes like this, just to get like some concentrated EXP on my fighter, especially.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think my only issue with it is just the fact that the eye is available makes like checking additional spikes. Like, what are you gonna find? This is like this or zombie D's was like basically the only things you could find that would be better, or not even better, but like even like worth considering with the eye just like so freely available. So that's just like a consideration, but it worked out. That's if I knew that Wiz mummies were there, especially that I would get 4 Wiz mummies on fight 2, then that's great. The eye, Shumbabi, the eye was in Earth Hollow Giants tile 2.
Now, a tip that I like is to do the fire orb late.
Yeah.
And like, let's say that you still need like 6 levels or something before you feel comfortable. You can kill off your 2 mages while going to carry, and then kill carry, go back to the eyes. Now you're set.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing, Dead Pulse, which is like delay Volcano so that way you can use Volcano for whatever you need it for, whether it's chests or levels, etc. Also, carry's really good at killing off mages. Even if you don't like kill them off on the way, you can just put them at the front and carry will kill them. So Money, if you're playing with B-side traps, you'll like rarely get the 3-eye tile, but if you're playing with A-sides, you should get an eye almost every time if you know where all the traps are. I really prefer the ice cave dive here. I also really don't like going to Volcano and not clearing it. I don't know what you think about that, Dead Pulse, but in terms of like my routing priority, while Waterfall's totally fine, I would have like cleaned up that entire area before I left.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I would have went to Ice Cave and then immediately after that finished off Volcano.
Yeah, okay.
Ice Cave is probably my least favorite dungeon in the game, so I tried to avoid it as much as possible.
That's fair.
Now, in theory, we're going to have to promote, so we're going to be back at level 6 magic to grab it. So at that point, we could do Volcano. So either or.
Yeah, the thing here though is that I think I would rather do Ice Cave and Volcano right now and get a few more levels than go dive Sea Shrine with Fire 3 as my primary sweeper. I know we have Nuke, but we have very limited charges of it right now. We have like 3. So I think Dead Pulse, just to kind of go back to like the eye grind, I have no problem with like walking grinding this party too, especially with a 3-man. I I don't think you just need to like take the eye grind to 24 and never take another fight. I think it's okay to instead do the walking grind in like good EXP locations. But the key thing is the other one that we said, which is that you just don't have the room to open a ton of additional boxes, especially if you're an open party in pods. Like with a fighter comp, you just can't.
Yeah, seeing an eye tile that early makes me believe that so if you were going in there, let's say you didn't have the fighter and you had the black belt instead, it would take approximately 12 to 14 minutes to get that black belt up to 42 with that eye grind. So that's how much time you have.
Yeah.
So you can't waste it all. And you grinded for approximately 3 minutes so far. So you've only got about 9 extra minutes.
And they have 2 minutes on Topher on you, and probably a minute in ice in Earth, right? So
yeah.
Gotcha.
So
it's not good.
yeah, I usually go by the 7-minute rule. I have 7 minutes to do funny things if I have a fighter comp before a black belt will just overtake me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this C play. See this. I would have done ice and ordeals before going to waterfall and C, because. Oh, also I would probably have checked the shop item, because I don't really want a full clear C shrine. And another way that you lose is by full clearing C shrine when they don't have to. But you know, when you choose to go to waterfall, you kind of are committing to clearing C shrine. So
I like the EXP from the walking grind and waterfall. That's what attracts me to there over ice. Or even sometimes
Ordeals is basically just as good, and better with Fire 3, to be honest. Waterfall calls my name if I have Ice 3 as my primary sweeper. Ice 3 is just great in Waterfall, for the most part. Rock Galls don't count. Now, if you get the item on the way to Kraken, the C play is really good. If you don't, it's a little unfortunate. But, I mean, once again, with the fighter comp, you want to open more boxes, but then with the eye grind, you just don't have an opportunity to. But I'm telling you right now, with this exact same layout, the way it is set up right now, I think with a black belt, I'm getting like a 101 or like an hour-ish time. I don't know. What do you think, Dead Pulse?
Yeah, anything sub 105, I think, based on what I've seen.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if the 2 key items are required in Sea and Sky, that can slow things down a little bit. But like outside of that, because like the black belt just like with the early floater and the black belt just making like things so consistent, the time to beat is very straightforward here. What level are you? You're like 16?
I think so.
Yeah, HP's looking about that. So the problem here is you just don't have a good Sea Shrine sweeper. So while you can say that Sea Shrine has good EXP, I actually really don't like walking grinding Sea Shrine, though I think I don't know. Maybe that's just like my own opinion.
Skywalker grind is where it's at.
Oh, sorry, Money. If you're running a comp like this, not BB, what would you want to grind to before you left and started doing a walk and grind the rest? That is an excellent question, actually. So my go-to like dungeon clearing level is like 16. I'm usually pretty happy at 16, but you could go slightly lower, slightly higher, depending on which dungeon you were going to do next. If you're going to go straight to Sky, you probably want to be closer to 18. If you're going to go do Ordeals, Waterfall, Ice Cave, Marsh, then you can easily leave at 14. So yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit slower to respond to chat. Usually I'm just watching chat, but right now I have 2 input streams and only 1 input channel.
I do not like this sea shrine at all.
Nope, this is terrible. I mean, I guess the question though is, oh god, is the Sea Shrine particularly bad, or is the play to go to Sea Shrine particularly bad? Right?
Well, I put Brack on my black mage, so if I have Brack, then I will take a risk and sometimes try to kill Kraken that way.
Yeah. I think actually the reason Sea Shrine isn't good here is not because Sea Shrine's a bad play, it's because the other options are just better.
Gotcha.
Because once again, Ice Ordeals. Yes, it's a bit of a meme that like Dead Pulse likes to go to ordeals, but like I also really like to go to ordeals, and so does Spellzap, from what I've watched him play. And the reason is just because it's got a bunch of chests, it's got good enemies in terms of like EXP, and like the scariest enemy in ordeals is sorcerers in vanilla, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing in the randomizer.
No, I'll definitely hit up ordeals if I get the ship and the canal early.
Mhm.
Like I would go there before I would go to Crescent Lake most of the time.
Heck yes. The other thing about ordeals is that it's so close to everything, you can link it. Like if you turn in, like if you're just leaving the inner sea, you go to it first. If you're turning in the slab or the bottle, it's right there.
Okay, so you're one item from like being like really happy with fighter gear, which is just a weapon. That ribbon's really good, especially because your knight can learn life. Whoa, what is this? Is that faster?
Is that the? Am I going the wrong way when I do that?
I think so. I wonder if the step count is the same, but like just the time is longer. But that's not the way that everyone I've ever seen goes.
Oh,
To quickly answer a question in chat, I actually find a good talent go to 24-ish. Is that too much too early? So it depends on if you're a fighter comp or a black belt comp. If you're a black belt comp with that eye, you go to like 39. If you're a fighter comp, that's way too high because you would rather take some like fights that you have to run from anyways on your grind. So yeah, 24 is too high for the fighter, I think. Yeah, Shun Bobby, I think correctly saying that's definitely not right. I think you just go left and then up and then left.
my bad.
It's okay.
That would be my nitpicky critique with Sea Shrine so far, is on a couple of floors, you are doing a slight pause at the loading of the floor, which means you're not pressing the button to go in the direction you need.
Yeah. You'll probably see it we'll probably see it you do it in Topher as well. But that's how you can kind of tell when people have really internalized the maps. So what's your plan here? Nuke Brack. I don't love this. So the reason why the Brack... So I would just probably be going... Oh god, this is scary. One Brack caster without Invis is like terrifying. But I guess you get through. That was a little spooky though. Like that could have gone so horribly wrong. So yeah, I think if there's one thing I've seen in your play so far, and the thing that's costing you the most time, well, on this particular seed, the thing that's costing you the most time is going to be taking a fighter comp most likely. But the second thing is just, I don't love your incentive selection and like your dungeon selection, your high level routing concepts. I think they're just slightly off. Because I think this was a pretty like easy-ish, like marsh to ice to volcano to ordeals to shop item to waterfall and then into sea and sky. Yes, there's a possibility with the way that you routed it to skip skip one of those mini dungeons, but I just don't think it's worth it because full clearing sea, like what you're doing right now, is way slower.
For the record, I almost never checked that room. I don't know why I did it. I was incredibly tired when I was running this, so I apologize for that one.
I like to talk to all the mermaids, so I don't fault you.
You've been seeing a lot of people make that well, I always make that second check. I never saw anyone doing it before, but I always make it. But I don't know if that's like if people watch me and was like that's a good play or someone else has done it. I just hate clearing the TFC floor, so I check it so that way I have a lower chance of it being in one of those like three remaining chests. Oh god, don't be in TFC. Tail. Oh god. Disaster. 1 in 3 chance. Oh, okay, there's the loot.
Now, this is actually a good thing if you're running a fighter comp because you get more chests and you know that they're probably the black belt comp is going to have to open up these boxes.
Yeah. This comes down to that Bert comment from yesterday, which is that like stage 4 of getting good at a game is knowing your opponent has a plan, and knowing that your opponent's probably on a black belt. That's got to feel good. Okay, so you're buying the shop item, right?
I'm still checking for gold bracelets, pro rings.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But I'm saying like you're coming to Gaia because you want to buy the shop item, which is good.
Because I don't think I had I didn't have the bottle at that point.
No. Once again, I think I would have slightly preferred to do ice ordeals before going there because doing the bottle in one go is nicer. But yeah. Oh, also yeah, Shunbobby's 100% saying the right thing right now, which is that the play there is probably promote. The slab turn-ins. Okay, ideas are good. I think execution is just like all over the place in terms of your routing. Like I just don't think you're thinking enough steps ahead.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's so many things that you need to do in a Final Fantasy randomizer seed. Like something that's impressive that like Dead Pulse mentioned before is that I'm going to be going back to level 6 magic after I promote, so I'm going to be going into that area one more time at some point. I don't know when, but I can leave Volcano until then, right? He said that. But that's
Yeah.
the type of thinking that you want to be doing, which is like, how many more times do I need to go to the Melman continent? How many more times do I have to go to this area? And sometimes things suck. Sometimes you get the TNT out of Waterfall and you're like, well, fuck, what do I do?
Yeah.
But in a lot of these situations, like you're flying up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Versus
Yeah.
if here you went something like ordeals into promotion or promotion into ordeals, and then whatever item you got in ordeals is probably either the bottle or a fetch quest. Then you can go up to the northern continent, do ice volcano, translate the slab, come back down. You know, kind of starting to route a little bit more fluidly based off like here's all the options, what's the best order I can do it in, considering I need to do all these things anyways. Um, so this is very like, what's something I could do next, and I'm going to take that, versus like, what's all the things I could do and what's the fastest order I can do it in, right?
Okay. I'll be more mindful of that in the future.
Okay, so now you're promoting. And this is okay-ish, right? Because you translate the slab, now you're promoting, then you can do ordeals, and then you can do the slab turn-in, so that makes sense. Slab on the way to Waterfall before, yeah. I don't know where we got the slab. It was Waterfall, which is, of course, nasty, so, you know, nothing really wrong with that. This is just my own mental trick, but whenever I talk to Bahamut, I immediately change my armor up. But that's not required.
He's a dirty old dragon, likes to see a change.
Yeah. This is way too slow, but otherwise. So you just lost something like 30 seconds to me right now, just on your
Gotcha.
armor menuing. And I'd say I'm like fast, but not like particularly fast at menuing. Checking those boxes from a save.
I don't know why I skipped ordeals. I don't know what's going through my head at this point.
So there is an argument to be made for trying to skip ice and ordeals, but I just don't think the argument's very good because I just think that sea and sky are so slow to full clear compared to them that I would just rather do them. But that's fair. Shunbobby asking, checking those boxes from a save in the air. I'm assuming by those boxes you mean Cardia, and I say the answer is no because there's an eye grind, and I'm frickin' terrified and can't open an extra box. I don't know what says you, Dead Pulse.
Yeah, I've got a Vorpal -4, and I'm gonna be getting that power bonk. So
yeah, I think I would rather go for the power bonk and like spend the known time than spend the unknown time opening random boxes. This comes back to a conversation I was having yesterday about optional boxes versus mandatory boxes, and you want to do the mandatory boxes first and then do the optional boxes later, only if you've like really determined that you can't beat the Temple of Fiends Revisited at a high enough confidence level for where you currently are. I would not be proximity routing in optional boxes. Okay, so Sky's available to you. You're a Rod from Go mode at this point? No, Rod Key.
And actually, about the rod, later in this run, I kind of loop on myself a little bit because I thought I had the rod, and then I dive into Earth, and
you bonk
yeah.
the plate.
womp womp. I still do ordeals first. If you're running a black belt comp in these pod flames, you are hoping that both sea and sky, to kind of reiterate what Jad said, do not have any key items that you need for go mode.
Yeah. I can see an argument here for the fighter comp in particular doing Sky to get levels on a walking grind and with the hope that this is required. Like this to me is like a play that I would be making against a certain subset of opponents where I think I need an advantage because I took my fighter comp or whatever, and I would do this because A, the walking grind's good for me and bad for them, and B, if there's I would rather open these boxes and get it and just hope I can skip ordeals and ice entirely. I don't know if that makes sense, but like this sky play is not the odds on play, but it's a very like meta play, if that makes sense.
Oh no, you're correct. If it turns out that like Rod is in here, like this is A1 play.
Yeah. And if you feel like you're behind, making that type of gamble is good. Also, once again, you want to walk and grind, so this is the best place to walk and grind. And not only do you want to walk and grind, you also want to open a few chests. So I think this is good. So I'm thinking beeline to floating, do walk and grind chest Tia, but skip Mirage. I think that's just a little bit too fancy play. Like I think it's definitely doable, but the thing is, Mirage is pretty fast chests, so like if you're just trying to clear the dungeon in order of like fastest chest to slowest chests, which is what you should do, you should actually almost always clear Mirage in less than greater than, rather than like, you know, having to clear the Bane sword chest and the spider floor.
Another thing, the next time you get into a battle, Climinteedus, just take a look at the pause that you have. Like whenever I exit a battle, I always hit the button of the direction that I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Understood.
It doesn't sound like it saves a lot of time.
Oh, it does.
But if you do 180 battles and you waste a second each time, like that's 3 minutes.
Yeah. Use warp here.
Yeah, I forgot. Like I don't know why I didn't do it. Like it was in the back of my mind, but I just didn't.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry. Like who mentioned this to me? They're like, I'm like a somewhat disapproving but supportive teacher, so like when I say things, don't take it too personally. It's not
no.
Red
Like
Wizards. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, oh no, Sheen Bobby just asked a question. Red Wizards can equip ice armor. Go ahead, Climinteedus.
Oh, they can?
No, they cannot. Cannot.
Oh. I'm sorry, I actually forgot what I was going to say. Shall I proceed?
Yep. Oh wait, did we just get the key?
Yes, we did.
Okay, that's incredibly good. So your gamble here just paid off big time. You gotta go though now.
I'm sorry, I just lost the visual for a second.
Okay, awesome. Skipping the spider floor, really good. I'm okay with. I don't know about you, Dead Pulse, but I'm kind of okay with these 3 checks, especially because we still need levels.
Yes, I am. I would maybe do the 6-pack, and I don't know. I might only do 2 of them.
Yeah, like the 6-pack and the free chests rather than the CC Gambit.
Because I'm looking at the time, we're at 42 minutes in. I don't have any orbs lit, but my black belt opponent probably doesn't either. The difference is my black belt opponent is now level 42 and 2 or 3 dungeons behind me.
Yeah. The good thing for you, though, is that sea and sky are both required, which is amazing, because that means that ordeals and ice, or the key lock are like 2 of the 3 are duds.
Yeah, this pushes up the estimated time for black belts from sub 105 to probably 105, 107.
Yeah, 105 to 110, I agree. Pretty soon this entire game is going to have locations and gambits named after runners. Yeah, pretty much. Welcome to any insular community. We love our clan forming ways, and we also love to, you know, be part of that. Not that it's a bad thing at all. I say it a little bit facetiously, but it is just like very human. It's weird. I don't feel like I'm on camera because I'm talking to people, but it's going well, I think.
I don't particularly like these solo nacho fights. I mean, they're giving more experience than the eye would.
I don't hate them. It just sucks that your sword is garbage. Like, you know, what you're selecting is dependent. But like, I think at this point, Dead Pulse, he needs levels, and he has no good dungeons left to get levels in. So like, I guess you could just go grind the eye. So basically, any fight that is worse than an eye, you shouldn't take. Oh, hey, Gregley. We're doing a VOD review of Climinteedus. And
I
so
was wondering
far,
what was going on in here.
yeah, and so far we have mostly identified that I think routing has been the biggest thing. Although interestingly enough, the two gambles that we said, were gambles paid off big time in this seed. Um, Otherwise, proximity routing, I guess, has been a little bit more of the other thing. But Dead Pulse, we could have been in bad shape here because we would have done ice and or deals.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yep.
one of the two leads to the rod though, in which case it's not so bad because if Climinteedus ends up doing them all anyways, then it's not good. If this is the rod though, you're in like great shape. This is just pod flags, Gregley. Excal's decent. So at this point, you want to be equipping the Excal for your day-to-day fights, and then you want that Vorpal for Topher.
Now, would you still use Vorpal even if it is such a low modifier on it?
Not where you are right now because you have no bonk and no temper, but if you had bonk, potentially. Temper is really quite important though for the Vorpal because it needs like 3 casts to be like doing anything.
And with that -4, it needs a 4th cast.
So I'm gonna assume this does not turn into the rod. For your sake, I hope this turns into the power bonk. Okay, those chests are fine. Once again though, just like feel that black belt like clock just ticking. Oh, that's not good.
You guys would not. Would you guys use the white shirt if it was given to you, or would you just like pass up on it? If
Oh no. Like it's good to. The white shirt's valuable. You pick it up for sure, but it's not good. Like that's not the item that you want to see there.
yeah.
Okay, that
That's
Masa
the
-4
-4,
means there's literally not another item in the game that matters to you. So boxes are officially lies now. So you should be opening just required boxes. Is it time for you to bonk the rod plate? Yep.
Yep.
Okay. 48.
Yeah.
Let's see how
Felt
much
real
time this
bad when I
wastes.
tried to open the plate.
Yeah, okay, Shumbabi, actually I like his point. We do have to give credit where credit's due. This is a good proximity play. It's just a bad play. So it's going to be like a minute and a half time loss. Here, I guess Deadfalls, here's the other reason I like the 4-man, because at this point, like with the levels I'm at and everything, I probably would go bonk the eyes a few times, and then I go up to 4-man. And then the running would just be a lot more efficient here. With like, for me, the extra black mage, or for you, the extra thief, right?
Yep.
I would probably take the eyes like twice or 3 times. You're not going to hit the weapon breakpoint. This sucks.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You're not going to hit that because that's either 28 with the Massa or 29 with the
Excal.
So
and the Vorpal is even higher.
Actually, I wouldn't. I would say at this point, if I don't go right now, I'm going to lose. I got to hope I can get through with level 23.
Yeah. If you're facing someone who you think you have a 10-minute execution advantage, keep this in mind that you don't necessarily need to. But if you're like facing me or Deadpulse or Cheese or Gregley or whatever, then you're in a lot of trouble. So you gotta play like you're in a lot of trouble. See, the thing is here that we're talking like an hour and 15 minutes or something as a time, and that's obviously not bad, but
Comparatively, it is.
comparatively, it's not going to be good if you're trying to like beat people in brackets, right? You're still crushing ducks. Well, like the new class of ducks or your previous class of ducks who didn't improve quite as fast, but unfortunately it's not the duck derby anymore.
Right.
This is all contextual though. Like something I always tell people to keep in mind is like I disagree with Gregley saying always assume you're behind. That's not that's not the right way to play. You always should assume that your opponent is a thinking human and thinking, relative to my expected, where am I? Based off, the item layout. Okay, bottles decent for you. No reason to do that. That ice sword -3 just doesn't matter.
I think another way of thinking, spending all these times with like equipping the ice 3 and things, it's nice to get through dungeons with it, but at the same time, you have so many nuke charges, you're not going to use them all going through a dungeon like Ice Cave. It would just be more efficient to use those before you get out.
Right.
And not only that,
Gotcha.
you're not going to be swinging the ice 3 on your red mage in Topher. You're going to do
Exactly.
no damage.
Here, small thing is you don't need to. You're actually wasting a step. This is really nitpicky, but like once you hit this thing here and you go down and across here, you can just go straight left because all these tiles are free because of the doors.
I did not even think about them being in front of doors like that.
Yeah. So you took an extra action, which involves brain power, and then you lost a step for it. So I'll point it out. Oh, also you just cost
And then right there, like
steps.
I know I messed up when I walked
That's
on
fine,
those.
Errors are one thing that I won't like correct so much. If you just like mispress a button, it happens. But when you're like purposely doing something that's wrong, that's why I would prefer to point it out. If you always play like you're behind, you will be making lower percent plays as gambles to make up time. When ahead, you want to maintain that advantage. Yeah, exactly, Septimus. That's 100% the point I'm making. Like how I'm playing in pods, my times are not impressive whatsoever in my pod rounds. Like, well, my first time was really not impressive. My second time was like mediocre. But the reason they're mediocre is because I am pushing 0 envelopes. I'm also not playing amazing, but I'm going to stick with I'm pushing 0 envelopes. I am taking my black belt to 42 on the grind. I am opening chests until I have a ribbon. I am buying all the spells. I am, doing all these safety plays because I'm assuming I'm ahead. And I've been right in both of those that I've been ahead. So I'm trying not to wipe in Topher. So yeah, don't always play like you're behind because if you do, you end up making really, really low percentage plays, which can end up costing you even more time than if you just played neutral. Yeah.
I will use the caveat that if you're running an open party and you have a fighter comp and you've seen the eye tile, you are behind, no matter where you think you are.
Oh, well, okay. Sorry, yeah. In this particular seed, I would feel behind, but my point stands. Keep in mind your opponents, though. But when you make those low percent plays on broad, it depends on why you play the game. I honestly, if someone told me that they would rather do that because it makes them feel good or makes them feel cool, and that's like the joy they get out of Final Fantasy Randomizer, freaking do it, man. Like, do whatever makes the game fun for you. I don't really judge. What I do judge is when people say I'm trying to go as fast as possible and then they make dumb plays. That's when I'm like, I'm not judging you as like a human, but I'm like, this is where I'm going to step in and say something.
Oh no, I know I'm not going as fast as possible. Like I feel as though over the past month or two, I've hit like a plateau, and then like a couple weeks ago, like I was getting some pretty alright times, and then last week I just went back to how I was normally playing, and I'm just trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, and so yeah, I appreciate all the insight you guys are giving me.
Yeah, I think the reason you hit your plateau is pretty clear from this, not because you're playing badly, but because the plateau that you're hitting is like non-obvious, I guess. Like your brain is making these decisions, so it's hard to see why they're incorrect, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Deadpool, something you want to say?
I hit the exact same plateau, the so-called sophomore slump, where I'm just good enough to beat new people, but I can't. I'm always 5-10 minutes behind all the veterans. And it really was routing that pushed me over.
And I think the like press buttons before you enter rooms thing, like it's the saving 2 seconds per fight, 2 seconds per floor change, and then it's the routing.
Yeah.
Money Merc saying I think I don't take enough chances. So here's my opinion on how new players should play. Although, once again, opinion. I think you should start off playing safe. Then I think you should go absolutely insane and wipe in Topher like every single time for like a week straight. So that way you like learn to push the limits, and then you adjust backwards from going insane. I think that's the best way to get good. But I think starting safe is totally fine. So that way like what does it look like when I'm in a good position to go to Topher. Like make sure you have a ribbon, make sure you have a masa, make sure you have, A, B, C, D, E. And that's actually why the Duck Derby set up that exact way. It's like it's designed to be here's all the pieces you need, go in safe, figure out what it feels like when it's safe, and then go insane and try and figure out where you need to draw the line. So you get to skip ordeals, but it's the power bonk.
Yeah, I skipped ordeals and I went into Topher without power bunk, and I didn't find temper. And since I had the mass immune and since I had fast, I was banking on just like getting a lot of critical hits.
Oh, but Massa minus.
Yeah.
I would feel so deeply unhappy about this, but you have no choice against the black belt here. Like you're already
Like I already knew, like I'd already wasted too much time, looping right here on my previous visit and
yeah.
a couple other mistakes. But yeah, I just kind of went with it to see how it played out.
Shun Bobby asking -4 puts it at what? Well, the Masa has a vanilla 10% crit, so it's -4.5%, so it's at 5.5% crit, which is still better than the vanilla Excal, but not ideal. Oh, sorry, -4. It puts it at what, 4% crit? So slightly
Yeah,
worse than the
4%.
vanilla Excal. Sorry, I did -3 instead of -4. It's pretty bad. You're not getting like Climinteedus. This crit rate is awful on your Masa.
Yeah.
Shumbabi also saying plateaus are my favorite way of learning anything because there's a moment ahead where something new is going to click and you shoot way ahead of everyone else. Yeah, like Deadpulse was talking to me about this, about like his like level 3, like his third stage of leveling up, which is when he like learned two mans, when he started like preemptively pressing buttons, and when he started holistically routing rather than individually routing, which means like making the long-term routing decisions rather than just like what's the next thing I can do. And that was kind of your like get over that good duckling plateau point, right?
Yeah, it was at that, like when you did a VOD review of me, and like 2 days later, everything just clicked. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I saw my times jump 5-10%.
Yeah, which is a ton when you're already like an hour 15. Like that's a huge jump for that. Okay, good. You do pick up life, thank goodness. I was gonna be super worried. Ooh, Ruse is super nice too, actually.
And I thought the gold bracelets were in this shop, so I was going to pick up some for my other mages just for some quick defense at the end.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, sorry, Shumbabi. I still don't know how to stop doing. I should really just turn that off for Nightbot, but you should be back in a few seconds. Yeah, I had some like bots like posting random crap in my chat, so I stopped that. What was I gonna say? I actually wouldn't be feeling too terrible about entering Topher here at the hour-minute mark. Like, I wouldn't feel great, but considering Sea and Sky were both required, it's not terrible. You could definitely win a race here.
Yeah, my goal if I'm running a fighter comp is to be in Topher about 56 minutes.
Gregly
so
Puffs.
you're not that far behind it.
Yeah, Gregly Puff saying reset out of that nonsense, which is fair.
In reference to the
Badman.
to the Batman battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't reset out of much in Topher, but I also have two black mages usually, so they run pretty good. If you get like ambush though, just reset, because otherwise like the time you spend heal potting and the heal pots and the fact that you have to wait for 9 of them to punch you, just yeah, no. I really don't like using nuke charges for that fight, but
I thought they were going to give me a lot more experience than they did.
even if they are, you have very limited nuke charges here. What do you think about
Gotcha.
taking experience on the way up here, Dead Pulse?
If I'm really close to a breakpoint, I'll do it. But you are 4, 5, 6 levels away from it. Nah, it takes up too many resources. I would rather nuke my way through the first 2 bosses than to get an extra level.
Yeah. The issue here is that your final 2 bosses are sketchy anyways, because you're going to be swinging either a Masa -4 with no crit, or you're going to be swinging a Vorpal -4 with crit but no base damage, and you have no temper, like, anywhere. So, I don't know how you get through. Well, I mean, I know you can get through, but you're going to need some goodness. The the fact that you have ruse on your knight is actually quite important, so that does help a lot, because it does make it so you can just go max evade on chaos.
Yeah, I think I only had like 3 charges at this point on my knight.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would have went to ordeals personally before I went to this, just because I think the time spent going to ordeals to get the power bonk is going to be equal to or less than the time that you're going to spend on chaos trying to hit with a Vorpal -4.
Yeah.
I actually rolled with the Massa -4 on chaos on this one. I didn't think that the critical hit was going to be higher than the Massa, and it ends up just being a slugfest. Like, it's a prolonged battle. I wasn't happy about spending as much time as I did on it, but I just kind of rolled with it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to guess 3 minutes.
I would have considered like also checking level 7 shops for temper even over going to ordeals is a long time just to get a power bonk, but like in this exact situation, yeah, maybe it's the right play. Sucks though. Gregley and Shoon Bobby saying take battles you can kill in 1 round. I just don't think levels are going to make that much of a difference unless you're going to get 3 more levels on your knight, which I guess is doable, but it's a little rough. Swing, nuke. Oh, you only have, what the heck? Okay, your red mage and your black mage have a combined 6 charges of nuke and fast left, which is awful for this stage of Topher. So yeah, burning those nukes on the... It doesn't matter how much experience they give you. That was not a good call.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's really nice. Yeah, fire through whatever. Sweet. Quad X would have been good there, but you didn't have it, so. Just keep in mind, like, you know, we give vets like, ooh, cheeky Quad X, but like, Quad X is not cheeky on bosses, especially with such like tightly clamped scaling. Like, you know when they're Quad Xable, essentially.
Yeah.
Good, you don't take extra steps on the seafloor, one of my biggest pet peeves. Okay, what's your plan for Kraken? Nope, there's your extra steps. That's fine. I'm assuming it's Black Mage to the front, Red Mage Fighter at the back, Invis to fight fast your fighter and swing for the fences, which I think is reasonable.
I didn't switch my
Actually,
like as soon as I walked into the battle, I just like...
Actually, I don't hate this play. Your fighter is almost guaranteed to survive a Kraken punch here. You're wearing like a dragon armor plus 1,000,000,000, and you have like really, really good gear. So your fighter, the only thing I don't like here is the fact you don't have Cure 4, because your fighter probably doesn't survive 2 punches. Or like a punch and a nuke. I don't know. Dead Pulse, what are your thoughts?
I mean, the win condition of this is the fighter getting fasted and swinging down. And yeah, I agree. 2 punches straight up is going to take out that fighter.
Yeah. Now, if you had more nuke casters, I would actually kind of disagree with that win condition, though, Dead Pulse, which is why I don't mind this play so much, because I think the fighter is going to be too slow to get up and running anyways, which means that the nukes may have actually been your win condition with the fighter providing 300 or 400 damage total, and then the nukes providing the rest. So that's why I think this play is defensible in some way.
Oh yeah, if we had more nuke charges, like absolutely, I would take that on. I am just concerned with not having, because we're already guaranteeing we're losing 3 charges because of fast, which leaves us what, 3 more charges.
So you have 1 charge of nuke left or 2 charges of nuke left or something like that, which is awful.
Yeah, I changed my statement. I think 2 nukes and 2 swings might be able to take it out.
Okay, white shirts. Oh god. Okay, so your red mage is really well armored and Kraken is a little baby and also didn't crit you to death, which was lucky. Are you gonna run out of... Okay, so here you gotta go like swing fire 3 or something like that. Yeah. Man, I thought you wiped on this Topher dive because your time was so late, but this is just like the slowest Topher dive ever. Not that you're like playing it that badly, but...
It's pretty slow.
It's pretty slow, yeah. Oh, Money Marks got timed out for something. I really need to like make my Nightbot left string, but I think you...
Slow Tovers, such as the curse of fighter comps.
Yeah. The thing is, you found all your swords. They just all rolled down. Okay, wow, wow, yeah, this is awful. I would probably cast Brack here over Fire 3, but you also should be white shirting, almost certainly, right? Dead Pulse?
Yeah, I mean we're set in for the long haul.
Yeah, like this fight is not a kill things quick type of fight. This is a kill things slow. Also, you don't have lock. How do you kill this chaos? Does he just do nothing to you for like?
It was a very slow fight.
Oh, this Topher prep was questionable.
Yeah, this is why I like item magic as well. Like if I had the Thor's hammer or something, I'd just be casting that here with the black mage.
Okay, you get through. So no temper, no lock, just fast with a Masa -3 is not good. Yeah, don't forget to pick up lock. I've been finding it quite important in the pod flags. You can get very, very, very evasive chaoses, like brutally so. Like fasted black belt hits twice.
Lock is one of those spells I've been picking up recently too.
Okay,
I
wait,
never really utilized it.
your red mage doesn't have fast cast left, right?
I do not recall.
I don't think it does. So I would actually be putting your red mage in slot 1 because if your black mage doesn't get fast off, you're just never winning this fight.
Gotcha. Oh yeah.
Ruse is a good play. I would also probably put the white. Yeah, move the red mage into slot 2 as well. Ribbon did not make it to the knight. I might consider putting the white shirt on the fighter here. Yes, the fighter can't swing the turn it uses the white shirt, but like you only have a single it's kind of a little bit either way. This is such a sketchy chaos fight. So atrocious.
I would also be bracking here.
Can you break chaos?
Oh yeah, take that 3 and 256.
Or if I picked up the Bane sword, like I may consider just having like the black mage Bane swording just because like you're probably not going to win this based on not having lock, not having temper. It's a miracle that you do.
I mean, 50 damage for 20 turns will do the trick. Yeah, Shumbobby saying, geez, he has nuclear and you still punch through this. But I mean, the thing is, nuclear it's going to take a while for it to come around. Also, Cure 3 evidently the MVP. God, this does so little.
Yeah, it's pretty much a lot of this for the rest of the fight.
This is not a good chaos plan. Remember when I swore about the white shirt from the TNT? This is basically what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Also, that Bane was like 30% to kill your fighter there, I think.
I would have forfeited if it had.
No, but I'm just saying, like, that's why your ribbon needs to be on your fighter, because if it kills your red mage, you're still fine. If it kills your fighter, you lose on the spot.
Gotcha.
I apologize. That ice sword putting in some work.
Well, I'm okay to equip it later, in like once you get to Topher. You just don't need to equip it while you're in the dungeon. You know what I mean, Dead Pulse?
Yeah, you need to go to that menu as little time as possible.
Gregory Puff saying MDef on the fighter is 75, but I can't do the math to determine how likely that makes Brack to hit or Bane to hit. So I don't actually know the. Oh my god, heal pot strats. 30% seems right. Okay, see? I don't know if 30% is even remotely right, but it felt right. Oh, I guess your fighter does have the dragon armor, which helps a lot for these like elemental chip damages.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I think like he had the dragon armor and maybe an elemental shield.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So that was like a 13-minute Topher, which is like atrocious because the black belt opponent just made up their entire grind time in Topher.
Yeah.
Before I say anything, this is Dead Pulse's guest appearance. Well, actually, maybe just since he's helping out with the Duck Derby, he'll just maybe be a fixture. But Deadpulse, would you like to go first on some kind of overall thoughts or any summaries or things like that that you wanted to mention?
Well, the major things that, we kind of already discussed were going to be the thinking ahead in routing and grouping things together. I think that alone saves about 2 to 3 minutes on that. Pressing buttons quicker, or being able to, like, as you're in a battle, finishing the battle, press up because you're going up, and just those little time saves after each load, each battle, that saves at least another minute. And then, honestly, the not getting bonked off of the rod, which happens to us all.
Yep.
That saves another minute. So by my calculations, that puts you about 6 minutes just on that. That puts you at 108. That is a competitive time.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're close to a competitive time. Most of the tools are there, but I think you do have a big plateau point right now that you're going to need to overcome, and it's not going to be easy. You're going to need some deliberate practice. And I hate to say this, but I think for your routing, you may want to consider stopping and thinking just for a few practice seeds, just to like think about those, like, what are the options, what are the long-term implications, because I think you're not going to be able to unconsciously make, or like subconsciously make those decisions without like some deliberate practice on it. But for everything else, all your menuing, all your bosses, all your armor shops, all your spell shops, you need to be making instantaneous decisions even if they're wrong at this point, because I think you have the ability to make the right decisions there.
Gotcha.
Deadpulse, does that would that summarize what you would think for?
That was a more eloquent way of what I wanted to say.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I want to thank both you guys for the help. Like, now that I have some insight of where I'm missing out on, I think I'm just going to focus on that and hopefully be able to improve my time a little bit before I finish out these pods.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You're running a 3-man comp in an hour 15 on spring tournament flags. That's pretty good. Like, you're doing well, right? So we gotta give you should give yourself props, but you're hitting a really tough plateau to overcome that I think takes. Usually, I think, Deadpulse did it by himself. Well, kind of by himself. He did it by himself, but also had a tournament going on. But I think most people overcome this plateau by doing like co-op or fall league or something like that, where they like work with vets for a while, and then that really, really helps. So this is something that I think is hard to overcome just by yourself, just by playing seeds to practice, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And also, like, I turned on the heavy, anal there. Like, I wasn't trying to be like, oh, look at all the things you're doing wrong.
No. Like, the reason why I felt comfortable like reviewing a VOD with someone is just so that they can critique my every mistake, just so I could like nip it and get it out of my system.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think you know where to focus on next, and like what I would suggest doing potentially is even like the next time you do it, you might want to send like maybe just send Deadpulse and I in like a group DM or even a new player Duck Pond, just like here's the situation, here's the route I picked or something like that, or just like being conscious of like your routing decisions, and then like really like honing in on them, and then maybe getting some additional player insight. Like obviously, knowing this community, not in a bad way, but there'll be more than enough people who are willing to offer an opinion on your routing selections at various points in the game, right?
Excellent.
So yeah, I think that's probably just something that you can work on. And also don't do this chaos again. That was this is like a 1 in 10, 1 in 20 type chaos situation, I think. I don't think you get through without Cure 4 with like this is so ridiculous. Yeah. It's like crit loop or bust or whatever the heck this was. So hey Gray, I see you unmuted. Did you want to say something?
Oh no, not at all. I figured you guys were gonna go offline here, and then I was gonna talk to you about some stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, that is the plan right now. So this is gonna go on YouTube later today. I really want to thank Climinteedus for hooking us up with a VOD to review. Thanks to Deadpulse, who did a fantastic job and kind of gave an alternative opinion on some things and really like helped solidify and explain. So I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to Deadpulse being part of the next Duckling Derby, not as a participant, that would be atrocious, but as a co-organizer. So that's something I'm looking forward to, and for everyone to hang out and chat and watch this. Hopefully you pick something up. If not, I appreciate you hanging out to support Climinteedus as we do this VOD review. So yeah, with that, have a good one, everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye.